You can put me on airplane mode. You can put me on.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, if you don't know, you definitely know it's Tuesday night. You just had a blazing hot episode of Unapologetic with Lee Ice and Flying Brian here on the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. And now, right here, you get the full house offense. You get the big guy KG. You get the correspondent. You get the gentleman Jack. You got the Midnight Rider. And we're going to do this thing we call the Tuesday Night Flight. You know what? I'm not going to do a whole bunch of talking this morning or this evening. I'm going to let this just go straight to the host, KG. You take it away. Because I'm going to do some talking later. So I'm going to save my words for later on.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I just like to say welcome to the Tuesday Night Flight. A couple of things before we get started. Gentlemen, how you guys feeling?
Good, sir.
Doing good.
Good. Most importantly, before we kick all the way off, this show is sponsored by Fort Mose. You can get, if you use Maniacs, which is our code, www.buyfortmose, that's BUYFORTMOSE.com/discount/Maniacs. Get yourself a discounted bottle of bourbon. I believe they have bourbon, different whiskeys and everything. Just go check out the price list. Get your little something there. So
I know they used to have a rye.
Huh?
They had a rye as well as a regular straight up bourbon.
Yeah.
I didn't know we was back with them. So that's good to know.
Oh, no, we never left. We never left.
Nope.
Just got to get back into putting it out there. Second thing, this is the Tuesday Night Flight. If you cannot catch this show live and in person watching it, you can also listen to it tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Be available on all your streaming platforms from Spotify to iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, Pocket Cast, Amazon Music, all of that. So it'll be available. Now, without further ado, kicking off this thing right, we got to talk about the college playoff. I say we, but I say we as in those three because I, for myself, don't have anything to say about it, and I am boycotting. So you gentlemen, enjoy yourselves. I'll be back during the NFL segment because I will not talk any college football with this BS that's going on. So thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
All right, fellas. Just so we get it straight. Of course, we know why KG is upset. It's the it's the Notre Dame snub. But first and foremost, I'm gonna get your guys' thoughts. I'll go to you, Keith, first. What are your thoughts on the 12 that were selected?
So I think I've got an interesting perspective here because I was off the grid Saturday, right? Okay. So I didn't, I was paying attention to the games on my phone the best I could, hitting Twitter and paying attention. So the real feel that everyone else had, I didn't have the same context. It was really just hearing what I heard, opinions here and there, the experts, including this network, which has covered this, these playoffs for weeks now, on point, like no other outfit that I've heard, by the way. So props to the people that, whose lane that is. Look, there's something to be said for, head to head, right? But there's also context throughout the season, where Notre Dame was ranked throughout the process, and all of a sudden to be on the outside looking in on the other side of that seemed wrong to me. But at the same time, you hear the other side, and you kind of understand that point too. I think it was a really tough decision that had to be made. I'm not sure they made the right one or the wrong one. I see both sides of it. It just sucks that a good team like Notre Dame had to be on the outside looking in. Just Jack, what you got?
Like I said, no matter how big the lists or the how big the playoffs become, somebody's always going to be on the outside looking in. You got the NCAA March Madness, 64 teams. Somebody's always looking, saying I got snubbed. So, it's never going to stop the snubs or the people assuming they were snubbed. But I had my final bracket before it was announced. I did have Notre Dame coming in and Miami not.
Yeah.
Because the ACC was just so watered down this year. I didn't feel the talent was in that conference this year to bring a contender out of. But then again, if you go back to Notre Dame, I didn't feel their schedule was that strong. Now, nobody's going to say their first couple of weeks wasn't the strongest there was in the country, but that's not how you pick this. So it's somebody's going to be upset no matter what. And like I say, I do think Notre Dame has a good gripe, but I'm pretty solid with this because honestly, I don't think one of the last 2 to 3 teams in this bracket are going to win a national championship. So if you look at it through my eyes, one of the top 4 teams is going to win this national championship. If it goes outside of that, I'll be highly surprised. Midnight Rider.
You started and said something great, and I want to kind of piggyback on your take on Notre Dame. The fan in me says we got snubbed. The podcast journalist that is within me says the right choice was made. And I say that because you talked about the back end of Notre Dame's schedule. And the back end of Notre Dame's schedule, after the Texas A&M game, I don't think they played a close ball game the rest of the way. I saw a stat where they played in the 4 conferences they played against. They played outside of Texas A&M and Miami. They played at least one of the worst teams in each of those conferences. So like Arkansas, and teams of that nature.
Syracuse.
Syracuse is worse than the Big East. So from a competition level, I can't sit here and be on a high horse. But the other part of me that makes me cool with it is I saw this transpiring because I said something to Maddie 2 weeks ago. I said, Maddie, head to head doesn't matter until they get it to a point where Miami and Notre Dame are in the same space. Like if they get close to each other, then I can't get mad at them for picking Miami. And those SOBs on last week, they said they moved Miami right behind BYU because they figured BYU would lose. They put Miami into that spot, and then they get Miami and Notre Dame fighting for one spot, and they can justify it that way. They did the same thing. What year was Florida State's QB? It was 2 years ago when Florida State QB got hurt. They moved Alabama into the 5 spot the week before or whatever, and then it transpired where the kid gets hurt and they move Alabama into that space. Go ahead, Jack. I'm sorry.
No, I don't mean to correct you, but I do mean to correct you. Syracuse, Big East basketball, ACC football.
Okay. Thank you.
I know you know that.
It doesn't even matter.
When you was in the middle of your time.
All right, so here we go. We got Anthony hot, coming in hot.
Oh, I figured this.
All right, so Anthony says, honestly, I'm happy my Hurricanes got in, but you guys got screwed, Notre Dame. In my honest opinion, there's no way in the hell a 10-3 Alabama team after getting blown out should be in the SEC championship game. Yeah, I get that one. He says should be in the playoffs, and based on Alabama play and the test the last few weeks, do they deserve to be in the playoffs? Anybody want to take that one? Because I like that question. Do you think Alabama deserves to be in? I've been saying all along that I think that Saban has been doing Christ-like work with his cross to try to get Alabama across the finish line and get them to a point where they can be maneuvered in. And if you paid attention to College Game Day, every time he was on game day, he made a purpose and a point to always emphasize that if you lose the conference championship game, it shouldn't hurt you. But if you guys got a thought before I go to the other comments.
No, I
Good
agree with you.
Alabama. All right. Let's go to other comments then. Jack, but can you blame Miami for the trash that conference became? It's not their fault. All the teams around them were decent or mediocre.
I'm
Straight to
not
you.
saying it's your fault or Miami's fault, but the proof's in the pudding, man. I mean, Duke won your goddamn conference championship, number one. Then the shoddy little tiebreaker to put Duke there in the first place when I don't feel the two best teams in the ACC played for the ACC championship. So it's far more than just the trash the conference has become, as you call it. I think the conference needs to go about how they're going to put their champions into these conference games. I don't know. Like I said,
Well, yeah, I mean, you could say the same thing about Notre Dame's schedule, right? I mean, they started off first 3 weeks of the year, toughest schedule in the country. Obviously, it's fallen off. You know, the head-to-head is really, you know, you got to land somewhere on that head-to-head, right? I mean, I think they were that close when it comes to the rankings. You know,
They were literally 2 spots apart on strength of schedule. I think Notre Dame was 44, and I think Miami was like 46, or the other way around.
The problem is with, you know, like Jack said earlier, with Duke beating Virginia, that just waters down the ACC even more, you know, just proves that, you know, that's just trash, you know, that conference this year. And levels it even more even for me, even though, you know, Notre Dame lost to Miami head to head, if that makes any sense.
Yes, it does. And all I'm going to say is the other conferences got it right. They make sure that the 2 best teams, that the 2 highest ranked teams play in the conference championship game. And for some reason, the ACC didn't have the foresight or the ability to understand that that's the problem. This is one I like. Midnight, as a Notre Dame fan, do you agree with them pulling out a bowl game and hurting your young players because they didn't make the playoffs? I'm not a fan of the taking my ball and going home piece. Yeah. But I think there's some other strife that is going on in this, because it's weird that we play 5 or 6 ACC teams, but the ACC commissioner was really like giving us a hard time and talking about us in a way that you wouldn't think a business partner would talk about you. And I thought that's kind of what influenced their decision not to go on and be a part of what was left over. Go ahead. Y'all can jump in.
I understood why they did it, but it's just not right. It's not right to their fan base. And number one, it's not right to their seniors. All them boys put their gear away at the end of that. Oh, what was their last game? UCLA? Stanford. I knew it was West Coast. Stanford. They all put their gear away after that game, knowing they were going to play another game. But they don't get to play their last game, knowing they're lacing them up for the last time and stuff like that. So this, I'm going to take my ball and go home, cry stuff by not just Notre Dame. Other schools have done it down the road.
Yeah, so I'm just not big on it.
What about from a recruiting component? You know, obviously Notre Dame is Notre Dame, and they got a bunch of 4s and 5s. But you know that these bowl games are a way to entertain and a way to get guys over the hump. You know, they see the brand, they see it live and full and well with the fan base on the road. It's a huge, you know, I don't want to call it selling situation, but it's a great opportunity for the school to showcase the brand, you know, and to get that recruit, maybe that 3-star that's a fringe guy or something over the hump to your school. Any thoughts on that question? Because I honestly don't know.
I don't think Notre Dame needs that as much as some other schools. Like you said when you started that, Notre Dame's Notre Dame. I mean,
right? I know.
Ben,
I love that you even asked this question. You can tell by the smile on my face. I've been waiting for somebody to ask something like this all day. I think because I do the show we do with Coach, and because and I give this guy a shout out. Day Pearson is one of the guys in our college football league. I got a real good chance to watch his son's recruitment, and when I watched his recruitment, you know, it was a lot of kids from his school that ended up at Western Kentucky because that's the places that are coming out to recruiting these kids now. Like a lot of the bigger name schools, they'll get some of the top tier guys, but those 3 stars and 4 stars, they'd rather take a transfer in the portal than dance with one of those kids because they know what that transfer is going to do. So I think that's the dynamic that has changed, and I'm so glad you brought it up because that's exactly what I wanted to try to get to. So tonight, you doing your Sherman Douglas imitation right now. I think I lost spot on the comments. Do you remember the last one I hit, Jack? Oh, I got it.
Yeah. Next one's
So,
out of bounds.
Out of bounds. We all know who out of bounds is, but we won't say it because he's
What happened
boycotting.
to silence?
He's boycotting. Notre Dame got hosed. He says no. I don't remember that's involved with.
Hey, Midnight Rider.
Yo,
I got to pull something off the Martin Lawrence show. Remember when Martin turns into that kung fu teacher? He say silence, silence. Come up, KG, silence.
my God, co-host of Nothing But Nut at C. Perry II says the CFP will continue to screw Notre Dame until they end their independence.
Mm-hmm.
I have to hit you with a Lee Corso not so fast because this past summer, they signed a thing where as long as Notre Dame's in the top 12, they have a quote unquote automatic bid into the playoff. So if this system happened, if this year's scenario happened next year, they have a guaranteed spot. So that changes some things. I don't know how that affects the other teams, but that gives them an automatic bid for the tournament.
Well, that's not fair to everybody else. I mean, you know what I mean?
It says if they're in the top 12, they have to be in the top 12.
Yeah, but what if you? I mean, and you don't play a conference championship game. So what if number 1 plays number 8, number 8 loses, and now they're number 13, and just because they played in the championship game, they're on the outside looking in? I mean,
I don't think they're going to make the. Well, outside of UB and BYU, I think if you're an SEC team or a Big Ten team and you lose the conference championship game, that's not going to affect you that much because neither one of them fell that far. BYU is the only one that fell, but BYU fell because they wanted to get the conversation between Miami and Notre Dame. Go ahead. Come on.
All right, question.
Oh,
If it was
now,
it's going to 16 next year, right?
we don't know that for sure.
Okay.
I
So-
believe it's going to 16.
If it was 16 this year, was there I mean, I don't know. It's a question. Was it a clear cut start stop at 16 and nobody would have felt like they were left out? No.
No.
Okay. All right. So
Because
we're
Because
gonna
that's the world we live in.
Yep.
There
So
we go.
so you had more than likely you had Texas, Vanderbilt, and probably an argument for BYU. Who would be the 4th? And Notre Dame. So those would have probably been your next 4 teams in. So then what would have happened was whoever's after that, and I forget who's 13 and 14 on a thing, but they would have had an argument of why they didn't get in. And we had the same conversation.
USC
Right.
was, I don't know if it was Arizona. I can't remember, but USC was definitely one of them.
If Virginia would have won the ACC, would they have been in?
Yes.
Yes.
So it'd have been, instead of having Tulane and
They would have
JMU,
been 11-2.
you'd have had Tulane and Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
Virginia was what, 17 going into the weekend? Was that what their ranking was? And they automatically jumped to 12 for beating Duke?
No, so they get an automatic bid because they're a Power 5 conference champion. So here's all right. I'm glad. See, this is why I love this part of the show, because I got 2 theories. My theory 1 is I think they're going to figure out a way to keep the Power 5, the lower level guys, limited to what they can be. So they could possibly have, and this is going to be the question you have to ask: Do you tarnish the sanctity of next weekend by adding in games to play alongside Army Navy? Because what you could do, and I think Jack brought this up a couple of weeks ago. I think John Gruden said something about like a play-in style where you have like the teams at certain spots play each other and formulate the bottom part of the bracket. I think that's a great idea. I just don't know if you want to add another game to the schedule.
Right.
The other way I can see this going is you have the 5 guaranteed spots. You spread to 16, and then you have the top 4, the 5 conference championships, and then you mix in like some at-large teams, and you get like maybe 4 at-large or however that goes. I don't know what the guarantees would be because I'm gonna tell you right now, the SEC has already like asked for 4 spots guaranteed, and I think the Big Ten is asking for 3. So that becomes a question at hand there. The other option I can see them doing is taking the Power 2 and then taking the top 10. I mean, taking the bottom 2 tier teams and taking the top 10 like they're doing now, but maybe they spread out to 16 and take the top 14 ranked teams, regardless of, and maybe they do it that way, but they're going to figure out something because this is too much of a cash cow.
No, facts. I mean, it's just, but to your point, like it's going to move the needle. There's going to be opinions. There's going to be hurt feelings. But
and the more feelings we hurt, the better we are.
But they're still going to be stacking cash. And that's really what ultimately this is all about.
Because ultimately, after this weekend, the first thing we're going to do and the main thing we're going to do is argue about Tulane and JMU being in because they might get blown out. And if they get blown out, that's going to help the lower tier teams in the thing. Because maybe we can't take the Power 5 teams if they're not ranked in the top 15. That might become a stipulation. Because now we can get more teams in that we want in from the SEC and the Big Ten. Because that's really ultimately that's running football right now.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to go through these last couple and then we got to hit the Heisman real quick and then take a break. Hopefully KG will end his boycott and join us for the next segment. Let's see. All right, hit that. Boom. Out of bounds says Bama should be home. We all know who that is. The damn tiebreaker in the ACC screwed Notre Dame. There's no way a Duke that is 7-5 should be in the conference championship game over Miami. Agreed.
100%.
And not saying anything wrong, just that the way the CFP is set up, it will work against them without a conference affiliation. I think this little agreement that they just signed over the summer helps them alleviate some of that. And with that being said, we got to talk about the Heisman race. I know we've made some comments about the Heisman race. I think we've kind of unofficially given who we thought would be the Heisman winners. But let's ask this question and let's do it off of who we have as the invite to New York. That doesn't really change thoughts, but at least gives us a good point to start with. I have, based on what you sent me, Jack, and
That's
you can
it.
correct me, is I have Jeremiah Love, Notre Dame running back, Fernando Mendoza, quarterback, Indiana, Diego Pavia, quarterback, Vanderbilt, and Justin Sayin, quarterback, Ohio State.
And his name Julian?
Julian, whatever. Let's go. Yeah, I've been getting names all wrong the last 3 weeks. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's the correct list, dude.
You sent me all last names. So, all right. So let's just take it around the room. Y'all can go whichever way y'all want. We can go Jack to Keith or Keith to Jack.
I'll go first. I mean, for me, I love the couple stories here, but to not beat around the bush, it's Mendoza. I mean, obviously, it's pretty simple. If you look at the betting lines, he's got a 98% chance to win. 13-0, 33 TD passes, 6 INTs, undefeated season, number 1 seed. I think he's the clear-cut winner here, and Vegas agrees. What I will say is, as far as Jeremiah Love is concerned, you talking about passing an eyeball test, and somebody that's going to be. You talking about somebody's going to play on Sundays. I mean, damn. He's going to be. I mean, he's a first round pick.
I think he's top 12.
Yeah, he might be top 12. You know, I see a Jahmyr Gibbs kind of thing. You know, comp out of him, and I thought Diego Pavia was, I don't know, was the more out of left field for me. Maybe he was on some other people's radar, just people like Jack, but not mine. So props to him. He put a great season together, carried his team on his back, won a lot of games, damn near by himself. So yeah, let's do it that way. Mendoza wins it. Love is the most impressive, and I think he'll be the best pro ultimately. And then the story of the year is Pavia. What you got, Jack?
Yeah, no, Mendoza is definitely the clear-cut favorite, but from a stat line, I like Pavia. 3,200 passing yards, 27 touchdowns passing. He's also got close to 900 rushing yards with 9 rushing touchdowns. So that's a lot of touchdowns accounted for through this man. I don't think he's going to be a surprise and win this. I think it's going to go to Mendoza for the undefeated season as well and the number 1 ranking. I think he's just there to put everybody's coats away, you know, when they show up. I think he's going to be in the coat closet. And Jeremiah Love, he just needed a little bit more oomph this year. And another thing that can kind of sour Jeremiah Love's progress this year and his stats are strength of schedule again. You know, who was he getting all these yards against? And you look at ballers like Mendoza and Pavia, they were getting these yards against SEC opponents night in, night out, more than half their season. So it's definitely, I'm sorry, Mendoza Big Ten, excuse me. It's going to probably be Mendoza, but I like what Diego Pavia has done this year. So that's the way I see it, fellas.
I think it was Josh Walker from Holly Opinionated said it last week. He said I think the Heisman comes down to who wins the Big Ten championship game. I think Jeremiah Love had some great moments, but they weren't on a big enough stage. If that makes sense. Like it wasn't the Rod Woodson punt return against Ohio State, and he strikes the Heisman pose, or the Desmond Howard punt return versus Ohio State. He didn't have one of those. So I think that's what hurts him more than anybody else is, yes, he had some great moments. I mean, I think he had a game where he had like 9 carries, 165 yards, and 3 touchdowns against Syracuse. But the problem is, it's Syracuse. If he does that against Texas A&M, Miami, then maybe we got a better story for him and a better argument. But because it's not, we don't, so we can't. I love Pavia all year long. He's shown nothing but heart, and I think that kid is still lobbying for more eligibility. I know he still has the case where he's trying to fight against his JUCO years, counting against his eligibility towards the initial ruling was they ruled for it, but I think it may have been getting appealed, so we don't know for sure how that ends up. With that being said, one thing I've missed, and I apologize, but I want to kind of go back to JMU because the JMU story is very intriguing for those that don't know. JMU, I think it was 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, they went Division I and they were undefeated, but they couldn't go to a bowl game because of some bogus rule that the NCAA had where they have to wait like a year or two before they can be eligible for the postseason. So them getting in this tournament to me is just kind of one of those things where it's karma, and it's like the world paying it forward to them. So that's what all I wanted to say about the JMU thing. Let's hit 4 comments, and then
That's a great point. I forgot about that. That's a good call. That's something that not many have talked about at all. Needed to be said.
JMU has paid the dues a little bit, so to say.
For sure. I'm gonna hit this KG comment. I don't know if this is the next one or not, but I'm just gonna go off of what's on my screen. It's a participation trophy at this point. They are right to not play. ESPN screwed them. They screwed ESPN rightly. Okay. Notre Dame needs to go ahead and quit all that crap and join the conference.
Tell them, J-Dub.
They're doing it because they don't want to share revenue money. Notre Dame needs to quit with that shit. Why? You get more revenue he's a Notre Dame fan, but as a team, Notre Dame singularly, you get just as much money from being independent as you would from joining the conference. So the money part is the biggest driver there. Midnight Rider, to meet that BS because you're upset, you got screwed. You negotiate this backhanded deal to get an automatic build. No, it's what they already done. I mean, it's not because they got screwed. This deal was in place before this incident happened. This got signed during the summer. This is part of their additional agreement because their initial agreement into the CFP, the college football playoffs, they were screwed because they had to be like top 8 in order for it to be automatic. So that's where the screwing came in. So they made themselves a better deal. C. Perry says it will never be clear cut no matter the number. Totally agree.
True.
Justify putting in BYU and JMU over Notre Dame. It's the way the system works. And BYU's not in. So, but JMU gets in because they're a conference winner.
Yeah, it's Tulane, Jack. Tulane's in with JMU.
Yeah. And then real quick, Mendoza from C. Perry II. Mendoza's clear favorite.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
Yep.
We all agree with that.
All right. So anything else before we move off of this? Anyone? Don't.
No, I'm good.
All right, we'll take a quick break, and when we come back, KG will probably rejoin us after ending his hostile boycott. We'll go into some other details from the NFL. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, coming up tomorrow night at 9 p.m. is In the Passenger Seat. What's our guest name? Jack?
We got Coach Sneed from Calvert High School football. Had a really nice season this year, 8-2. They just ran into a buzzsaw Dunbar in them playoffs, and Dunbar ended up being the state championship this year. So Coach Sneed from Calvert High School down in Calvert County, Maryland.
With that being said, we're going to give you a preview of the intro for In the Passenger Seat. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Tuesday Night Flight. Midnight Rider, the correspondent Keith, the gentleman Jack. We are here to take you into the next part of this show, get you to the next phase. But again, Coach Sneed tomorrow night, 9 p.m. in the passenger seat. Also, if you're sitting around early and you want to check out some hoops action, we got a hoops talk, nothing but net at 7:30 p.m. with myself and C. Perry II. With all that being said, we're going to give this show back over to the guy, the Nelson Mandela, the Rosa Parks of the Sideline Junkies, for his boycott of NCAA football. What's up, big guy?
Well, it feels good to be back, man. Damn, I didn't know I was all that, but okay. Man, I didn't know what you guys were talking about. I was in the John, so I don't know, man. I didn't know nothing. So I didn't want to hear none of it.
Would you call that holding in instead of holding out? You're holding in. Is that kind of what?
That's exactly what that was. That's holding in.
Yeah. Oh, I can add that. The Terry McLaurin of the Sideline Junkies.
All right, gentlemen, we got to recap the Nick one. We got a lot to cover. We got 7 games total to cover, but each game has some sort of caveat that we need to talk about. Let's start it off with this first one. Jaguars versus Colts. Jaguars win 36-19 over the Colts. Colts lose Daniel Jones to an Achilles injury, which is kind of crazy because when I saw the replay and he threw the ball, he fell down, non-contact injury. Immediately, the first thing I said is that's his Achilles. That's Achilles. That's done. Then when the trainers came out, he took his helmet off. He slammed it on the ground. I was like, that's it. And when he walked off the field, that was your third sign. He couldn't put any pressure on his foot and no flex in the foot because the Achilles is gone. So he's gone. They signed Phillip Rivers to the practice squad today. 44-year-old Phillip Rivers. But Riley Leonard finished the game 18 of 29, 145 and a touchdown. Jonathan Taylor had 21 carries, 74 yards and a touchdown. Alec Pierce, 5 catches, 80 yards. For the Jaguars, Trevor Lawrence, 17 of 30, 244 and 2 touchdowns. Travis Etienne, 20 carries, 74 yards. And Brian Thomas had 3 catches for 87 yards. I throw it to you first, to the correspondent, and I'll ask this question on my way out. Are the Jaguars for real?
That was my question. I mean, are the Jaguars fortunate or formidable? I'm having a hard time. You know that they get Daniel Jones hurt. They play the Texans without no Stroud, right? So, I think their coach knows offensive ball really well. His instincts as a play caller are pretty formidable. I mean, he really seems to understand how to create a game plan and attack other teams' weakness. Trevor Lawrence still has accuracy issues. He still makes big time mistakes. It seems like just when defenses create disguises, they can confuse him pretty easily. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what this game looks like if Jones stays healthy. But to answer your question, I'm on the fence with. I need to see one more week from Jacksonville before I hop on this bandwagon. I think they've been fortunate with some of the teams. Sometimes they say it's not the team you play, it's when you play them. And I think they've been on the right side of that more often than not this season. I don't trust Trevor in a big time spot, at least not up to this point, until he proves me differently. So, yeah, I mean, Jags get the win here. They kind of walked it off there at the end, but if Jones plays that whole game, I'm not sure what this looks like.
Yeah, definitely. No, I agree. You look at this, man, for Indianapolis, the Colts, and if you look at the Indiana Pacers with Halliburton last year, you got 2 busted Achilles during great seasons, great runs for these teams from here. So that's got to be a big hit for the area there, the area sports scene. This is 11 straight home wins for Jacksonville, believe it or not. That blew me away when I saw that stat. I had no idea. So Jacksonville's got 11 straight home wins. They're doing a little something down there in FLA. I'm with you. I'm a big Trevor Lawrence fan. Met the guy, so that right there made me a fan of his. And who can't like, Hollywood or Goldilocks or whatever you want to call him. But his game, I just don't feel has progressed as fast as I thought it should have for NFL type quarterbacks. But I don't count him out now. Trevor's done some great things in his short career so far, and he's also done some bad things in his short career so far. But coach over there, Peterson?
No,
that's from the Bucks. Cohen, I think's his last name.
Cohen.
The Jaguars.
Cohen.
Ethan Cohen, something like that.
Yeah, that's who I was looking for. Cohen is doing, he's been easing him into everything. I don't feel he's done anything too risky with with a quarterback like that. But you got to look at Trevor's teammate back there with the Clemson Tigers, man. And one of Midnight Rider's favorite running backs in the league, Travis Etienne, he is still being consistent every week, guys. This is his best season yet as a pro. He got into the end zone a couple times this weekend, and he ended up with 74 yards, almost 4 yards per carry. I'll take that out of a pro back. Indianapolis going after Phillip Rivers right now. They signed Phillip Rivers to the practice squad today. They're going to run him all week. I think they got till Friday to make him active if they want him to play Sunday.
Yes.
And don't let me tell you, Phillip Rivers is 44. Ain't played in 5 seasons. He get hit by one of these big cats, and they play they got a tough defense coming up too. Their next game.
We'll pull it up.
Guys? They got a tough defense coming too, and I don't want to see him get knocked out just for coming back for one game. And then if Phil comes back, he got to start his whole Hall of Fame count over again too. So if he gets accepted on the roster this weekend, Phillip Rivers going to dip. So who'd you find out?
Seattle, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Seattle's got 8 or 9 takeaways in the last 2 games. They've only given up about, I want to say, 10 points in the last 2 games. So, I don't know if that's the team you want to welcome yourself back to the NFL from a 5-year hiatus at all, Mr. Rivers. He was one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch, coming straight out of NC State.
What, Jack? Real quick, what are your thoughts on him resetting for the Hall of Fame? You know, if he gets to this active roster, he's going to have to wait 5 more years before he can be inducted. So that's an interesting sort of backstory here.
Well, you got folks in this room with us, Keith, that I don't think either one of them think Phillip Rivers should be in the Hall anyway. So, am I not right, KG?
I know I don't.
Okay, I knew I heard it in our group.
Yeah.
Somebody said.
Yeah. You didn't hear from this guy because I'm
okay.
Phillip Rivers, Eli Manning, and Ben Roethlisberger. Comparable numbers. All 3 should be in the Hall of Fame. Don't know if they'll be first ballot, but they got to be in the Hall of Fame.
Agree. 100%.
He's also got Annie in the Hall of Fame as well. So
who?
Annie.
Oh my God.
I do somebody frown, so it's Midnight Rider. That's not on the Phillip Rivers train.
I can't. And they talked about this early on Unapologetic too, but it's just I think for Hall of Famers, the hardest part now is the standard has changed so much because the way quarterback play has changed. So let's hold that, and maybe we figure out something next week at 6:30, where maybe we jump in with the guys on Unapologetic because they do they're doing a segment just on Hall of Fame. So maybe we make it a Sideline Junkies Hall of Fame special or something like that for about 20-30 minutes. We figure that out. And
I'm trying to be front and center for that one.
So that's why I said,
yeah,
look, man,
I'm trying to be front and center.
This is why I do ideas because remember, I do dope shit. So come on.
But not only do you do ideas, you got to do travel logistics for this one too, because we got to travel to another show. So you got to make sure everything's right. So make sure that the travel is ready so we can get it going.
All right, man. Real quick for me, this ball game, Jaguars, Colts. I think Jack and them hit this nail on the head pretty well. Where I think I don't know what this ball game looks like if Daniel Jones is healthy the whole ball game. Real quick, the only issue I have with Trevor Lawrence is he doesn't take the profit. He's one of these quarterbacks that the easy throws, he makes them difficult. And it's him, it's Caleb, it's a lot of young guys. So I'm not saying he's the outlier in this, but it's hard for these guys to take the profit. And anybody that's played on a team with me, any of my buddies that's watching this, shut up. Don't say nothing. They don't need to know my business. All right. So here we go. Just really quick. That's all I got on it. KG, take it away.
All right. Perry says, Indy won't win another game. That first round pick they traded to my Jets looking good right now.
Love that angle. Love that angle.
I
And
don't know
Anthony
about
said,
that.
guys, how surprised are you that my Dolphins are on this 4-game winning streak? Won't mean much.
I don't think they played anybody.
Is A-Chain hurt? I know he got nicked up. Is he?
Last
Anyone
I
hear
saw was
that?
he got nicked up. I
Okay.
haven't seen anything official this week.
Okay.
I'm surprised they winning.
Perry says, speaking of QB injuries, guess who got hurt, MR? LOL.
Probably Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod.
It's
I was like,
Tyrod.
Tyrod.
And
Like
J Dub
turd.
said, nobody wants to see
Tyrod.
that Houston Texans defense. They are legit. We'll talk
Nah.
about them coming up. Perry said, he'll be waived on Friday. Talking about Phillip Rivers.
One or the other. Wave the sign.
And
Active
he is
roster
Rivers
or
in the
waived?
Hall of Fame.
Okay. Just let me
And
know.
Anthony
We
said,
just letting everybody in.
KG, the Bills are part of that winning streak. All right, so you got 1 out of 4. One out of 4. Next game up on the docket. You got the Steelers 27, Ravens 22, Aaron Rodgers 23 of 34, 284, and a touchdown. Kenneth Gainwell 4 carries, 15 yards. DK Metcalf 7 catches, 148. For the Ravens, Lamar Jackson 19 to 35, 219, a touchdown and a pick. Derrick Henry had 25 carries for 94 yards. Zay Flowers had 8 catches for 124. I think this kind of changes what we said. Think Sunday, Jack. I guess if your running back rushed for 15 yards, you can still win a game. So, Keith, take it away. I'm sorry, the correspondent, please take it away.
No, that's good. Well, I mean, obviously that was likely a Ravens victory. If that call in the end zone goes the other way, I mean, really, the whole game's about that one play. You know, is that a touchdown or not a touchdown? I'm on the side of the fence that I think it was. It was 2 full steps. I mean, was it a complete football move? No, but he did extend the ball out, you know, with possession of it, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a touchdown. That's really, I mean, all I have. You know, I'm still questioning Lamar's health. Either it's his health or it's his preparation or something's changed somewhere. He just looks different, not as decisive. When he does break contain, I don't see vintage Lamar at all. Turning a corner or, you know, shooting upfield, it just doesn't look the same to me. I'd be curious, you know, some of the people that follow the Ravens a little closer, what they might have to say. But yeah, I mean, just quick and easy for me. I thought that was a touchdown. I thought Ravens probably deserved to win this game. Ravens on the other side of the playoffs here at this point. I mean, that's pretty safe to say, right? They're pretty cooked. So yeah, who's next?
I mean, if you look at it though, you can't say Baltimore's cooked. They can still win the NFC North. They're 1 game back. So I wouldn't say they're cooked. Baltimore outplayed Pittsburgh in this game offensively, statistically. The turnover game was one turnover for Baltimore, 0 turnovers for Pittsburgh, and that catch that was deemed not a catch by Likely. I'm with Keith. I think it was a catch. You know, you're going to have these controversial calls because the game is just so fast and so sped up. But when they slow it down to microseconds, you can sit there and nitpick it. And I don't know, man, how you can say you're right or wrong on that decision. So I'm surprised Pittsburgh's win the few games they are. And so Pittsburgh's sitting at the top of this NFC or AFC North at 7-6. Baltimore 6-7. It's whoever wins the North is the only cat that's going to the playoffs. So I think it could be either of those teams. Midnight Rider.
I think this catch situation joins the line of a bunch of great questions. First and foremost, who framed Roger Rabbit? Secondly, Did OJ do it? Thirdly, Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you okay?
And where's Jimmy Hoffa?
Minnesota, you
I'm
stupid.
telling you, you went from passing to score. You already know this is going. All right.
I'm a 3-tool player.
But no, I mean the catch thing is the biggest mystery in the world. I don't remember them calling it this way the whole season, so I thought it was a catch. I'm with you guys, and I hate that the fact that these games sometimes turn on such simple moments where we just don't know what a catch is, and we haven't known what a catch is since 2012, probably even earlier than that.
Dead.
I don't remember when the
Dead
Dez
Bryant.
was. When the Dez
Calvin
started-
Johnson. Remember Calvin Johnson back in the day?
Oh, the Calvin Johnson one where he used the ball to get
Megatron.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
I mean,
so
I think it was a Commanders game last year. Somebody got 2 right feet in the end zone,
Yes.
not
yes,
one of each, and it was not a touchdown. I couldn't believe that.
yes.
So
How did he get 2 right feet in?
Because he the way he got pushed.
Oh, double tap?
Yeah, it's a double tap.
yeah, he got 1
No.
foot. He
Can't
got
think of who
put,
it
he got
was.
shoved, and then he just put the toe down again.
Yep.
They gotta be a right and a left, man.
Okay, I
Hey,
think
man.
2 of the same foot's harder.
Okay.
KG, it's all you, baby.
Yeah, take it away.
I like the I got so much. J Dub said touchdown likely got screwed. And I agree with that. Now this right here. Quickly, gentlemen, questions. Have both Tomlin and Harbaugh reached their expiration dates? I say no.
I say no.
Keith?
2 up.
I say yes. Yeah,
Both?
I mean, I live up here in Ravens country in Hartford County, Hazard County, as we call it up here.
Just a good old boy.
Yeah. For Harbaugh specifically, I think time has run its course. You know, all the football talk. He's walking around the block to cross the street, you know, dodging the media, not really telling everyone where they stand. I know he's a good football coach, and I know he's a good CEO, you know. But I think the Ravens, while they still have Lamar under contract, need an offensive guru now. Not Todd Monken. I mean, somebody that can really coach offense, a Ben Johnson type. We reference Cohen down in Jacksonville. Someone like that can really, really teach him the game and play to his strengths, because he's clearly wanting to sit in the pocket a touch more, and that's fine. As he gets older, that's gonna be a natural progression for him. He's not going to run all over the field, but he's going to have to understand. He's going to have a quarterback that maximizes what his skill set is. He's not going to sit back and pick you apart or even take what the defense gives you. You know, he needs a Shanahan style offense where he can boot, get out to the outside, have options, read half the field, you know, those types of things. So Tomlin, you could talk me out of that, but I think as far as Harbaugh is concerned, I think it's time for a change, especially if they miss the playoffs this year.
So, being from Hazard County,
Yeah.
have you, never meaning no harm, have you beat all you ever saw, been in trouble with the law since the day you was born?
Well,
Just
yes, because I'm not from here. I grew up in PG County, so they ain't seen anything like that up here. That's for sure. So,
Well, can I piggyback on to Keith a little bit?
yeah, go ahead.
Saying that the way you're saying, I mean, Baltimore's gone to some playoffs and won some playoff games, but Tomlin, they haven't won playoff game in quite some time. That's why I think his time might be a little bit more limited than Harbaugh and Baltimore. But I think both going to be fine to be here for next season.
So Jack, you think they'll both be back? Is that what you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right.
But I think Tomlin's got a little bit more hanging on his back because of the lack of success in the playoffs in the past 8-9 years.
But he's never had a losing record.
I agree, but you can't ride that pony but so long.
Well, Harbaugh can't get back to the ship either. I mean, they've gone all in these last 3 years for the most part, right? So we'll see. I think one of these owners is going to get. I think the odds are one of them is going to be gone.
I think the Rooneys are more family oriented. Family, Midnight Rider.
Family.
The Rooneys are more family oriented. Jesus, you can tell by how many coaches they've had in their tenure, dude. What, 5?
No, 3.
3.
3.
No. That's 3 since '68. It was a coach before No. There's a couple of coaches before No.
Wow. Yeah.
So to give my answer real quick, and I don't need to do the frills. I wasted my frills on the Dukes of Hazzard lyrics for Keith.
Yes,
Simple for me. I think both have to move. I don't know if it's this year, but I think it has to be the next 2 years because they need a different voice. It's just not resonating in the building anymore. And I think the problem that Lamar has is I think he's so beat up that I think he's going to need an all season to get right. He's got to get right, and I don't think it's going to happen in season. I think that's going to be their downfall. Is just the fact that he's not Lamar Jackson right now. He's somebody else.
Can you imagine if Sean McVay coached Lamar Jackson? I mean, it would be box office must-see TV every single Thursday, Sunday, and Monday. You know what I mean? He just needs someone with an imagination to unlock everything that's there. Because Monken's, I know he came from Georgia and he did some of that with Lawrence and stuff down there. It ain't the same. This is big boy ball up here.
Yep. Well, I'll say this and just make it quick. The Steelers haven't fired a coach since 1968. So as long as a Rooney is in charge, no coach is getting fired. As far as Baltimore goes, Jim Harbaugh can walk down Greenmount and be safe. I'm talking about walking down Greenmount in the middle of the night, pitch black, and be safe. That's how much he's loved in Baltimore.
I don't know, man.
I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, I think we got to go to I'm
not sure he can walk down Light Street right now.
That's probably the safest street.
I was going to say something different. I was going to say if we go to our Bibles and go to the first book of Donny Hathaway and Roberta Flack, I don't know if we know where the love is for this guy because I think it's gone. So, hey.
All right.
Go ahead, Casey. Take us to the next one.
I love that question. That was a great question. Damn, that was a good question.
Yeah, that was. Maddie said the Megatron catch was one that started it.
Okay.
And Maddie also said, put your right foot down, put your left foot down, do the hokey pokey, and turn yourself around, and that's a catch.
All right.
Love it.
And Perry said, agree. Same with Tomlin, needs to change the scenery, maybe the NFC East.
I think he's talking Giants.
Yeah.
But do you think either would possibly explore to NCAA football?
No.
I heard Tomlin was rumored for that for the Penn State job, but that was a rumor. That wasn't nothing big.
That's just Steelers Penn State talk.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
that was just
in-state talk. Yeah.
But both of these guys, to me, seem interested in grown-ass men. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And no games, no frills, you know, nothing but football all the time.
I just threw it out there. Not to say I.
No. That's a great question.
That's a damn good question. Next game. You got the Bears versus the Packers. Packers win this one 28-21. Caleb Williams, 19-35, 186, 2 touchdowns, and a pick, a costly one for the Bears. DeAndre Swift, 13 carries, 63 yards. Luke Burton, the third, 4 catches, 67 yards. For the Packers, Jordan Love, 17 of 25, 234, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Josh Jacobs had 20 carries, 86 yards and a touchdown. Christian Watson had 4 catches, 89 yards and 2 touchdowns. Throw it over to the correspondent. Take it away.
So I didn't get a chance to watch this game. You know, listening to the radio all day long on Sunday, I thought, was weather a factor in this game? Like, other than it being cold?
It was snowing.
But was it accumulating on the field? The snow? No.
Fellas, didn't they had to broom the hash marks and everything off, correct?
Oh,
No, that was Buffalo. That was Buffalo. My
Okay.
bad. It was just cold in
Okay.
Lambeau. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
because I remember hearing like on NFL, Sirius radio that weather, like just snow was going to affect the
It
game.
was 18 degrees, cold as ass.
Yeah, that's rugged. Yeah, I mean a home team won here. Jordan Love made enough plays to win. If you look at the stack sheet, as KG referenced, Caleb with the costly turnover late cost him the game. Aside from that, like I said, guys, I didn't get a chance to see this game, so I'll pass it on to you, Jack.
Yeah, it was frozen is what that tundra was. Caleb played an excellent game. I thought he managed the game well. I thought the play calls were done well for the offense today. The Bears don't count them out. They still got some things going on both sides of the ball. It's just they still have a young quarterback. I don't know why they had him roll left on 4th and 1. And I agree with most of the reporters I heard today. I'd have ran the ball. The way that Swift and the running game is going, I'd have ran the ball. But you're going to roll Caleb left, and he's a right-handed passer. But that pass was only off by about 8 to 10 inches. He needed more loft. He just didn't get it over. That's one of those passes that you just drop right in the bucket, and it could have been an overtime game, but the young quarterback lives and he learns. So I look forward to watching this division play out. It's fun seeing Chicago playing winning ball again. And like I say, I never would have thunk it. Blows my mind. Midnight Rider?
Not so fast, Jack.
Come on now.
That last throw by Caleb, he has this tendency, he has this love. And look, I'm not a guy that's gonna get mad at a quarterback for throwing off balance throws and throwing across your body, but he has a tendency. He got away with it early in the year, a couple of weeks ago on Thursday Night Football, and the way you layer that throw, the way he tried to throw that, you're not getting that over somebody's head because you don't have a chance because you're not setting your feet. You're rotating your hips and you just can't. It's one of those throws. It's the hardest throw because you're rolling right. I mean, you're rolling left and you're throwing right. So he's got to turn his body back to get that throw off, and you don't get the right torque or enough. As they say, that's the technical term. You don't get enough on it to get it over the linebacker. So it's one of those throws that sometimes it falls flat because you're going off of the wrong foot. Trust me, I've thrown plenty of interceptions going right and trying to throw it left. So I know what this is.
I didn't think that was the best play call.
No, because he didn't take the profit. This is another situation where if he takes the profit, he takes the secondary back or the guy coming across on the crosser, the shallow cross. I think he has a better chance than trying to go for broke.
All right.
KG.
Next up, you got the Texans 20, the Chiefs 10. Before we even get into this and the stats, Jack, go ahead and pat yourself on the back because
I'm good. I'm
coming
good.
close, man. I'm giving you your flowers. Your prediction's coming close.
I thank you. I know that, but I'm not gonna say nothing about it no more. Everybody knows what JC said.
CJ Stroud 15-31, 203 and a touchdown. Jaquavius Marks 26 carries, 68 yards. Nico Collins.
Stop that nigga. Excuse me.
Whoa.
That dude,
Whoa.
dude's name is Woody. His name is Woody Marks, man. Stop doing that. I'm sorry. I got a little. Nah, my bad.
That's what's on my screen is Jaquavius.
Woody, man. Call him Woody.
Watch out.
Oh, I got the check in the mail, man. I'll take the fine.
Oh my goodness. Woody Marks, 26 carries, 8 yards. Nico Collins had 4 receptions for 121. Patrick Mahomes, 14-33, 160, and 3 INTs, no touchdowns. He also led the team in rushing with 7 carries, 59 yards, and Xavier Worthy, 3 catches, 55 yards. To the correspondent.
Question: you got more street cred in the streets if your name is Woody or Jaquavius?
Jaquavius.
I'd say Jaquavius.
Okay. All right. Hey, I don't know. I'm just.
It's not about the street credit. It's just that's the name they use more for him is Woody on everything.
No,
that
I know. No, I know. I was just, I figured.
My bad, man. My bad.
I figured it was worth a follow up. No, you're good, man. Dude. It's all good. No, I mean that Texans defense is awesome. Coached well by D'Amico Ryans. I've never seen Mahomes run. I mean, Mahomes has always been opportunistic with the runs, but he's running out of necessity now. I mean, 7 carries, 59 yards. I mean, he's got 4 or 5 games, guys, this year like that, where that offensive line is breaking down, and he's got to get the hell out of there. So that is amazing. The Chiefs, a lot of people are, saying ding dong, the witch is dead and all these other things. I have too much respect for Mahomes and Reed. I think they'll rebound here next year. But yeah, this year is over as far as I'm concerned. This Texan team, guys, is playing really good ball, really good. Not even without elite quarterback play, they're still hard to handle. That defense is playing very fast, very physical, creating all sorts of havoc in the backfield. So they are a team to watch here as we push towards the playoffs. They're going to be a problem, and no one wants to play them right now. So, Jack, over to you.
No, you mentioned strong defensive team without elite quarterback play. Okay, the Bears, the Ravens, those are Super Bowl winners that were superior defensive teams with subpar quarterback play, in my opinion. So,
Trent Dilfer, he qualified.
If you prevent teams from scoring, you don't need to score that much. So that's the Texans' way they've been doing it. They've been handling business. And they got all up into that Kansas City backfield. They managed to put 7 licks on Mahomes and then also got 2 sacks in addition to the 7 hits. So Houston, that's 10 points, man. That's what you're getting from them, man. They are stingy, and you got to watch out for this defensive squad. So, like I said, man, strong defensive team don't need stellar quarterback play. They just need enough to get the job done. And I think Houston's doing a little bit more than that. I'm still not a big C.J. Stroud quarterback supporter, but that's all you need is a C.J. Stroud when you got a defense like this. This is a top-notch D, and that's the way I see it. Minarada?
I think Stroud's better than people think. I think the problem is he's been breaking in 2 rookie wide receivers, and he doesn't have his guy. The kid they drafted 2 years ago, of course, his name is escaping me as I'm thinking about it.
Oh, the little dude, the fast.
Yeah, the 5'8" fast guy.
Nico?
No, it's not Nico. Nico's the Michigan kid. It's the other kid that they had. He plays slot, and I think he tore up like every CL in his knee last year. And of course, when we get off the show, I'll remember his name. But that's the kid that they missed the most. And
Tank Dell.
Tank Dell. There we go.
Yes.
I think if Tank Dell is in this offense, this team is a whole different ball club, and it's a nightmare for especially the way this defense is playing. So when I watch this team and I watch them play the Chiefs, I think the Chiefs are back in that mode where, unfortunately, they can't handle certain defenses, and because Patrick has to run to be their offense, I'm gonna say right now. And this is going to be it's not a blue magic guarantee.
Uh-oh.
But I'm gonna put something out in the atmosphere. I think the Chiefs are a team that you look at when we get into that point in the draft, somewhere between 13 and 17.
Don't say it. Don't say it.
I'm saying it, Keith, because you know what I'm thinking.
I know exactly what you're thinking. And
Go ahead, say it. Go ahead, say it, Keith, because you know what I'm saying.
You think they're going to be in the quarterback market or potentially in the quarterback market?
No.
Okay.
Wrong aspect. I think for the Chiefs, if we get to around 13 or 17, I think they will be bold enough to make a move to get Jeremiah Love on their team. And they'll give up draft capital. And that way, because Mahomes is
needs running back
with a threat like Love. Andy Reid can run let's think about this. Hold on, before we go any further, let's give somebody their flowers. Andy Reid is the only coach that has a 10-year streak in the NFC East as division champs. He's got a 9-year streak in the AFC West. You just can't do that. Yeah. That's just not something that happens. So let's go ahead and put that on the table. Like, you know, I think if Andy Reid and them find a way and he can get that way, or he can get his way, and he gets a kid like this kid to play his running back spot, because that's all they are. And maybe it's not him, maybe it's one of the other young running backs in the draft class. But if they make a move and they get him, they change the dynamic forever, and they put themselves back in place for another 8 to 9 year run.
Okay. Maddie said, special shout out to the gentleman Jack for joining me on Drive Time yesterday. It was a damn good show, and he was a great sport on the surprise pronounce this hockey player's names.
Yo, I was so mad that I was getting out of my car when that segment started, dog.
Oh, and I believe it was Vic and Showtime Sarah that threw that out there. They want to make a segment. The gentleman pronounces hockey players.
I like that.
He hit me with that last year. That's not new.
No, it's been 2 years now that I've been getting my hockey player names right, because I will be the first to admit I don't get into hockey till playoff hockey, because there's no hockey like playoff hockey. So my man, the first name that I really stumbled with a couple years ago was Draisaitl. I say it like it's smooth as silk today. Draisaitl. I think I was calling him Draisaitl. I don't know what I called the cat, but yeah, I can butcher some hockey names.
It was provocative, and it got the crowd going.
Yeah, it did.
Next up was your Monday Night Showdown, and I don't know if you gentlemen caught the Disney version of this one. With the Monsters Inc. Man, that right there was cool. That broadcast of the Monsters Inc. I'm a big Monsters Inc. fan, so that was absolutely cool. But the Chargers win in overtime, 22-19. Jalen Hurts, 21 of 42, 40, 4 INTs. Saquon, 20 carries, 122 yards and a touchdown. AJ Brown, 6 catches, 100 yards even. For the Chargers, Justin Herbert, 12 of 26, 139, 1 touchdown and 1 pick. Also had 10 carries for 66 yards. And Kimani Vidal, 1 catch for 60 yards. Keith, take it away.
I mean, what was it? 4 turnovers in the first quarter? Something?
No, it was 4 in the first quarter, 6 in the first half.
Yeah, it was hard to watch. I'd never seen Hurts rattled like that before. I've never seen him compound a mistake with another mistake. You know, he always that signature trot on and off the field, cool, calm, and collected all the time. I was really taken aback by that, because I'd never seen, even going back to Alabama or Oklahoma, I'd never seen him flustered. Even never, ever. So I was totally shocked by that. It makes me wonder if there's something, you know, we've heard grumblings all season about the locker room there, some of the character issues, some of the infighting behind the scenes with this team. The Eagles really, I mean, I know they got this division in hand, but you have to wonder, you know, what they look like here in a couple weeks as the season comes to a close. Herbert had trouble protecting the ball as well. with the left hand injury. He seemed to get through that. But yeah, I mean, Jim Harbaugh. Chargers don't seem to be. I know they got a winning record. They got a good record. They just don't seem to be playing Jim Harbaugh football to me. Lots of passes, a lot of finesse football where, you see historically his teams like to beat you between the tackles on both sides, of the football. So I'm kind of shocked by that. I did miss about the fourth. It was a lot of turnovers. I missed the Disney broadcast. So I'll have to go back and check that out. What do you got, Jack?
Yeah, there sure was some turnovers in this game, and I think you guys ended at 6. There was a total of 8 in the game, 8 turnovers, and Jalen Hurts had 2 turnovers in one play.
Right.
He threw a pick, linebacker yanked it. Linebacker thinks he's going to be Barry Sanders, and somebody yokes him up, ball goes flying. Hurts picks it up. I'm sorry, man. If he was right, he would have just dove on it. Hurst picks it up, tries to make a spin move, and then he fumbles it. So interception and a fumble on one play by Jalen Hurts. Herbert did what he needed to do. I felt that what he did that seemed to have helped pull his team ahead was he was the leading rusher for the Chargers, and that goes to what Keith was just talking about. You're used to seeing Harbaugh banging the ball, but that's what your running backs. And I thought Hampton was doing right fine. Even the Vidal guy. They were all getting good positive yardage. But Herbert had 66 yards rushing, man. That's almost half of the yards he had passing. So it was an ugly win, but a good win for the Chargers. And if you want to talk about A.J. Brown with his 6 receptions, but let's talk about the 13 times he was targeted. Okay? They're trying to force the ball into Brown, I feel. So maybe that's because he's crying in the locker room, or I don't know. But I'll tell you this, Philly's offense looks nowhere near like it has the past 2 seasons. And I know Midnight Rider and Big Guy KG remember me always saying Philly's offense looks like a finely oiled machine. They are just going down the field doing what they got to do. But the big problem in Philly, I believe, is the O-line. Lots of injuries. Big boy Lane Johnson's been gone for a couple weeks. And when you got big houses like that aren't on your front line no more, it gets crowded in the backfield and makes you run a bit more as a quarterback. So I think I heard Johnson should be back this week after several weeks out, but they still got backups banged up on that offensive line, other starters banged up on that offensive line. So I think it's Philly's offensive line that is causing this offense not to flow as it has in the past couple of years, guys. Midnight Rider?
And that's a great call. The kid, you've had Dickerson out. They've had Bergen's out. They've had to put Toth in at center. So they've struggled from an offensive standpoint. The one thing I want people to understand or people to think about in this situation is A.J. Brown did Jalen Hurts no favors, because that last play he throws one and drops it in the bucket, and it goes right off his hands. And I don't care what you say, I don't care what you do, but at that point he was supposed to catch that ball and take me with you. So that's the problem I have with this whole thing. Is like sometimes your dogs got to be dogs for you, and KG was wrong. Okay.
Nah, he's still laughing at Woody Marks.
Nah, there's another one. But no,
there's something else going on.
I just think that the whole situation is this team, the Eagles, they're struggling to be a team. And that's the hard part. And I think it's part because the O-line isn't the same. I think it's part because A.J. Brown isn't picking up his quarterback in moments that he's supposed to pick him up. I think it's even more than that. So I don't know what their relationship is.
Got injuries though. I mean, the Chargers were out without Slater and Alt, right?
Yeah.
No, they've been without Alt for a while.
Yeah. So I mean, the door
But
swing.
think about it. Think about from the Philly side, like they don't have what they got. They're two top receivers, and everybody else is like Jahan Dotson hasn't really like filled up the stat sheet. He got like 16 receptions on the season. It's just trouble, man. I think this team is struggling on every aspect because they aren't right. You know what I'm saying? I think it's because the AJ Browns of the world aren't making the catches that he's supposed to make. I think it's partly because just it's just not flowing. You know what I'm saying? It's not. It's the Luther Curl segment of the show, and we'll give that a shout out. It just won't curl right. This offense just won't work right. Shout out to Justin Herbert. I gotta give him some flowers because that man yesterday decided to take the offense on his shoulders, and he figured out that they were crashing on whatever the option or the read option was, and he decided to hold on to the football. And he even tried to stiff arm somebody with a broken hand. He had a bleeding arm the whole night. Like Justin Herbert showed he was like the one thing that we didn't believe in Justin Herbert was his dog, and he showed everybody his dog yesterday.
That's a great point.
Yeah,
Okay.
I agree.
That's dope shit.
Dope shit.
Now I'll say this, Midnight Rider. You asked me what was wrong. Kind of in the mood to watch Purple Rain now. So just a thought. Just because when you said that, I saw the whole scene with the riding on the motorcycle. And I was like, I ain't watched Purple Rain in a while. Let me go watch Purple Rain. So let's go ahead and get out of here. Next up, you got the Bills, 39, Bengals 34. Closer than what it should have been, but close nonetheless. Joe Burrow, 25 of 36, 284, 4 touchdowns, 2 INTs. Samaje Perine has 6 carries for 31 yards. T. Higgins has 6 catches for 92 yards. For the Bills, Josh Allen, 22 of 28, 251, 3 touchdowns, no picks. James Cook, 18 for 80. And Dawson Knox has 6 catches for 93. I think that rule that I had for Jonathan Taylor, now the Colts going to have to implement that rule of Jonathan Taylor touching the ball 20 to 25 times. James Cook has to touch the ball 20 to 25 times every game. I think that's the same rule applies. And I had that rule for the Cowboys a few years ago with Ezekiel Elliott. And I was like, if you get him the ball 20 to 25 times, this team wins. I think that's the case for Buffalo. To the correspondent, take it away.
I mean, this game comes down to those 2 interceptions back to back on two plays in a row by Burrow, right? I mean, I don't know if I've ever seen anything quite like that scene in Buffalo with those 2 interceptions. But real quick, Jack, the hash marks and the yard lines are heated, right? That's why aren't they heated from below? They don't come out. They don't come out and shovel.
Oh, I don't know. Teach me something, partner.
I'm pretty sure. Midnight Rider, is that right?
Yeah, I think their field is heated, but there are times where accumulation
still gotta come out.
Too overwhelming. Yeah.
Right.
They just don't allow you to come out and sweep the turf before you kick a field goal. Remember they used to come out and do that with equipment and all kind of stuff, and they stopped it years ago.
Yeah, there was a Miami game or something. I'm trying to remember who it was that they came out and with a mini snowplow or something. And
it was like I think it was the Patriots, but it was a team in the division that they snowplowed out space for the kicker, and I think the kicker was a barefoot kicker.
Ooh.
So no, I mean getting back to the game. I mean the 2, box office quarterbacks both balled out. I mean I know Burrow had the 2 interceptions. One was, a great play by the D end. Other one was more of a flukish kind of a play. Midnight Rider, last time I was on the show, we talked about the Bills. Hey, maybe they can make a run here. Some things might fall their way. Not so fast, my friend. That's not going to happen.
Got you.
Josh Allen, of course, he did Josh Allen things. Dawson Knox had the biggest game I've seen him play in a while. He was like, they had designed plays for him, which I hadn't seen in a while, which I thought was pretty pretty interesting. That's something as we come down the stretch, we'll have to keep an eye on with their two tight ends that they have there in Buffalo. And I agree. James Cook had 18 carries. I felt the game script here, he could have had 4 or 5 more, to be honest. And the Bills could have leaned on the Bengals a little bit more. The Bengals don't play any good run defense. So yeah, I thought entertaining game, fun game. I mean, if you love defense, look the other way, other than the 2 turnovers.
Okay.
What do you guys got?
Oh, yeah, you're spot on again. I mean, you look at it, Josh Allen, 4 touchdowns again. You know, he's had games with 6 touchdowns. This one here was 3 through the air, 1 with his feet. So Josh Allen continues to do whatever it takes to win, and that makes him a solid contender for an MVP candidate, no doubt. The interceptions hurt Cincinnati, especially that one being a pick 6. You got no run game coming out of Cincinnati. It was horrific. And then you got Buffalo, got the best run game in the league. I thought Buffalo should have ran more on a day like that, but they got the job done. And as I said, Josh Allen, solid MVP candidate, no doubt again. Midnight Rider.
So, in terms of this ball game, I just think Buffalo just kept finding a way. You know what I'm saying? Like they just kept finding a way to make things happen. I think the Bengals was trying their best and making it their best opportunity to get back in the ball game, and it just seemed like Buffalo always had an answer. Whether it was Cook, whether it was Allen, it didn't matter. It just
Knox killed them.
Yeah, and then it was just like, yo, it's just one of those games where you trying because you know the Bengals knew this is their one shining moment. This was their last, their last cry. Yeah. This was the moment that they had, and they couldn't just answer the bell. And it wasn't because they didn't try. It's because just everything Buffalo was doing kept getting in the way.
Yeah.
And so that's just how I'll take this one. We got some comments because are we doing Commanders next?
Yes, sir.
Can I add a quick thought to the Bills game? Yeah. The Bills specifically, I mean, if they find a way to implement Knox and Kincaid, if both healthy, into this offense going down the stretch here, they both can block. They both are pass catchers. I mean, I think they could create a real problem. They got to commit to it, though. You know what I mean? The run looks with the passes to the tight end. I'm seeing something there that really alarmed me to see. I forgot how good of a pass catcher Knox can be when called upon.
Mm-hmm.
So like they leaned on him as a necessity, but it's something I'm going to be paying attention to as we finish up the last couple of weeks of the season and push towards the playoffs.
Yeah, they can run the same
to quit
double tight end like New England was running back in the day with Hernandez and Gronk and all them tight ends they had. Yeah, I agree with you, Keith. It always trips me out when I look into the week's games. I'm like, damn, they got 2 excellent pass catching tight ends, 2 excellent blocking tight ends. Run some double tight end sets, play actions. You got them bouncing off the line. I agree to that, Keith.
Okay.
Next up, this one right here. Vikings 31, Commanders 0.
May I go first?
Sure, let me get the stats and it goes to you. Jaden Daniels played with.
No. Don't even care about the stats because they got beat 31-0. And in a ball game like this, stats don't mean shit because the quarterback threw for under 100 yards. Your backup quarterback threw for under 50 yards. I think this at times my coordinator doesn't understand the moment. He doesn't get what's going on. Like you can't go down the field and move the ball, running the football, and then come back with a tackle eligible and 2 other pass plays on. And now maybe Debo did drop the ball and he should have caught it, but like Like we say we arrive violently at the football, but I don't see us when we're on defense and somebody's running the football. I don't see the rival being violent. And I know this team has been trashed by injuries. You know, you're on your fourth or fifth defensive end. You're on your third corner and your fourth corner. I get all of that, but the problem I have is the just the willingness to tackle. So that's what my issue is, and that's where I struggle with. But I'm gonna let you guys, and I don't know who wants to go next, but I apologize for jumping in. So let's go, Keith, and yeah.
All right. Well, yeah. Bear with me for a second. I'm gonna kind of set the table here a little bit. So I was down in Raleigh this weekend. My daughter had a soccer tournament down there, or showcase, I should say. She's injured, so she didn't play, but you still have to post for those types of things. So we woke up Sunday morning, and the coach was like, there was an 8:00 game. He's like, Sophia's injured. Why don't you guys go ahead and get up the road? So that's what we did. We were excited. We talked about the game for a while, right?
Uh-huh.
My daughter, who's going to be 18 tomorrow, is like, Dad, Jaden's back, Terry's back. You know, I feel good about the game. So we talked it through. We're cruising through Richmond. We get to Northern Virginia. It's 11 a.m. What do you think I'm doing at 11 a.m.? Coming through Manassas.
Checking out your schedule, see what's going on.
No, I'm turning on the Sunday Rise.
That's right. There's no better way to start your week.
So we turned on the Sunday Rise and we listened to that, and we really, kudos to Coach Powell and Jack on the high school football content and expertise there. This whole run here has been impressive. So shout out to you guys. You guys killed it. I mean, you guys got me Googling high schools and specific players. So that's something we, as a network here, we need to lock on to. There's lots of runway there. So props there. But getting to this game, guys. I said this a couple weeks ago. DC sports fans, we back again, baby. Back to sucking. I mean, this is absolutely unacceptable football by this team. Weeks all season long, I've had a Joe Witt problem. I didn't think he knew defense. I didn't think he could call defense. It's not his fault. It's not his fault at all. I don't want to hear another damn thing about brotherhood. Don't give me that brotherhood shit, because that was not brotherhood we saw on the field Sunday. Not in the least bit. Singing Kumbaya and bringing each other's candies to work. That's not working for me anymore. We need dudes. We need competitive badasses in this organization, and we're missing the mark right now. And somebody needs to pay the piper for this. McCarthy looked like a young Matt Stafford to me Sunday. That's what he looked like. That's who I thought. Justin Jefferson, guys, was just played two quarters and change and was just out there doing cardio. They didn't even run a design play to him because they didn't have to. Mm-hmm. It was absolutely unbelievable, guys. I mean, it's not even worth talking about the X's and O's, really. I mean, we talked about a special episode earlier about something. I mean, we need a fix the Commanders segment episode here sometime at the end of the season, because I think there's going to be a lot of opinions and a lot of thoughts about how this team moves forward. I mean, last year, guys, that looks like cubic zirconia to me. You know what I mean? It's fraudulent as hell. They actually went all in with Tunsil and brought Wagner back and did these things and took a gigantic step back. The sample size is too large now. I don't want to hear about the injuries. Everyone's got them. It sucks that Ertz got hurt. He deserved better than that. That was a nasty play. I feel bad for him and his family. His football career in the NFL is likely over, right? But there is a lot to unpack here, and it has nothing to do for me with the X's and O's on Sunday. Jack, over to you.
How I follow you two cats on that, boy. Good Lord, Cookie. And I'm not going to say I don't agree with both of you wholeheartedly. It was pitiful to get shut out 31-0 by not even a middle of the pack team, in my opinion, man. This is a subpar squad in the Minnesota Vikings with a young quarterback. They got injuries just like we got injuries. And, JJ and Addison, they didn't have to put in work. McCarthy was able to complete passes to 9 different receivers, or I should say 9 different pass catchers, because they were just throwing the youngins out there. Get some reps. It was that bad of a game. There's one bright spot, I think, on the Washington side, and you guys may disagree with me, but that's Bobby Wagner flying all over the field, still giving his 100% to get 16 tackles. 16 tackles for the linebacker. Who else was on the field, man?
They ran 100 plays. I mean, shit. I mean,
the defense didn't have no heart, man. So I don't know, man. It was hideous. It was hideous. Minnesota just ran the ball where they wanted to, when they wanted to. 161 yards rushing. I don't even think Washington had a rusher over 40 yards. It was pathetic. And I would say this: if it was the New York Giants, if it was the Arizona Cardinals, I'm not just saying this because it's my team. And I don't think Midnight Rider and Keith are being harsh on them because it's a DMV team that we follow. It's just pathetic NFL football. And what the hell? I know, injuries to your quarterback, that's a big thing. And now he's going down a second, maybe third time. Time to set him out for the year. And let's just start restructuring for next year, get into the off-season workouts, let him start working, bring in some new pieces. And that's what Washington has to do. I don't know who's next, man. Y'all take this off my hands.
Well,
KG, do you want to go next?
If you got something else to say, I'll let you go first and I'll wrap it up.
Yeah, something else. Yeah, you already said.
No. Because you said something just now, and I don't think the QB needs to be sat down. I think the situation is we need him to get as much work as possible.
What's his injury?
You don't, huh?
But what is this injury he was out for now?
So no, he got thrown 7 yards and landed on his elbow. Like it wasn't like it wasn't like he was just knocked down or like it's not I think it was just a thing with the elbow. And I think the coach sat there and looked at the score and said, you know what? Let's live the fight another day. And that's how I felt.
Okay.
The way he played, I think he had Bugs Bunny on that VR all week.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was looking at the other team's defense or not, because
anytime you got to come out there with a Megatron sleeve on your arm, bro, I don't think you should be playing unless it's a Super Bowl, the playoffs, or a title shot. You should not be coming out there with fucking Kevlar on your arm. Damn, I dropped the F-bomb. That's about once every couple months.
Hey, we good. We got 2 pounds today. But no, it's his left arm. And would it been his left arm? He can play through it, man. We talking about the same game where Justin Herbert played with his left hand broken.
We got
surgery Monday. Yeah,
he had a surgery a week ago. So we're not entering into dangerous waters. I think the problem is this team just isn't like they just don't have it yet. They haven't figured out their identity the whole season, because what I remember last season was when somebody made a drive, we'd answer. And this year we don't have answers. So they go down and score 7, we come back and punt. They go down and score 14, we go back and punt. Or maybe we go get 3 and it's 14-3, or we missed the 3. I think that's been the biggest debacle of the season. And you know what? We on time, so KG, go ahead, get out of here, get going.
Well, only thing I want to say is I said it on Sunday morning when we were talking about it. I said this is more for draft positioning. You got to see what you got, because I can't do this anymore. But one thing I'm not going to do is I sent you guys this, and there was a certain page, I won't say the name, that was saying, oh, Dan Quinn's on the hot seat. He should get fired at the end of the season. How, Sway? Now, that's what I'm more pissed off about. That these so-called fans are calling for this man to be fired when you were just riding his job a season ago, because we went to the NFC Championship game for the first time since 1992. But now you want him out of here because we having a down year because of all the injuries and everything that's happening. So you want him gone now. Fuck the product on the field. You talking about you want him gone because of everything he's had to deal with. I need for you in this fan base of the Washington Commanders, I need for you to pack your fandom up. Take all of your Washington Commanders, Redskins football team gear, put it in a bag, give it to Goodwill so it can go to a good home. And you take your stinking stupid ass down to fucking Dallas with that bullshit. That's where you can go with that. Because calling for Dan Quinn to be fired because we're having a down year, what you have is PTSD from Daniel Snyder, because that's something that Daniel Snyder would do. 2 years, something don't work out, you got to get him out of here, then we start all over again. The clock starts again and we have a good season. 2 years and not having anything. Let's go. Get up out of here, man. I'm done with that. This right now, we just need to finish out this season and look forward to next season. That's all.
We got to put Jalen Lane on the field. He's got to play more than 6 snaps. We got to figure out if we got a ball player in players like that or not. Right? We need to figure that out now. So if a receiver's in play round 1, we need to know. You know, is he only a punt returner and that's it, or is he more than that?
And speaking of which, we talked about Kansas City upgrading at running back. Washington has to upgrade at receiver, and they're 1 game away from taking the number 1 overall pick.
No,
Washington needs a home run running back. Washington needs a home run running back, man. They ain't have one.
But you're not gonna get him in the first round, brother.
Clinton Portis?
You're not gonna get him in the first round.
You can get one in the second round.
So I love this conversation, because this is the conversation I was waiting for to happen. Because you know I'm always about the draft and all about the process, but I think from the Jack standpoint, I think there has to be a running back taken, and I think that's also because you can't depend on Eckler to be the next guy, because Eckler is 30. He's 30. He's got a bad leg, the whole 9. Now I don't know his contract's up. I don't know when this pick happens. You know, you got Rodriguez, who I don't know if you like. I wonder how much this team, and I think Keith's going to nod his head when I say this, but I don't know how much faith this team has in Rodriguez. Even though he performs and he gives them numbers, it just doesn't make sense the way they walk away from him in important moments.
What do you have? 5.5 yards of carry on? Actually got away from him too soon.
I mean, think about the first drive where they're at the goal line. Like, we just give it to Rodriguez. He went from first and 4 to second and goal. Give him the ball again.
Yeah, the new paint job with all the shotgun and the finesse football, you know, it was cool and all. I'm kind of I'm a little bit over that. We just need to dictate terms sometimes, and we don't seem capable of doing that. Maybe it's not the person. The offensive line's been healthy though. We got Cosme back. Everyone else is right.
I think the last 2 weeks, Denver game included, I think that's the best Cosme has looked, and I think that's where we are right now with that. Is now we got Cosme back, and it makes sense.
Well, I read a thing where Connerly, I mean, he's had his struggles. He's a rookie, but he is the top-rated rookie offensive lineman this year. He's going to be fine at right tackle.
And I think we also have to start taking a look at Coleman at the guard position, because I don't see a reason to sign Paul. To be honest with you, I'd rather have Coleman and plow with that. But I think the way the offseason went, I think this offseason they didn't handle it correctly. You had the Curry incident. You had Paul. I mean, not Paul, but you had Coleman You know, at 1 minute you tell him he might be your future left tackle, and then you bring in Tunsil. So of course now he's not your left tackle. So now he's like, all right, you compete for right tackle, but then you draft the kid Connerly at right tackle. So I think he just never. I think you contradicted your principles with the Coleman, with the Terry situation, and I think that's the reason why we're struggling.
Well said.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
got a lot of comments.
Yeah. So J Dub says the Commanders have a hex on them. What's going on with them and quarterbacks getting injured? This right here I agree with. Subpar Viking squad with a scrub quarterback.
He wasn't a scrub Sunday.
Nah, what he looked like all pro.
He looked
And he
like
said
vintage
Washington
Matt
struggled.
Stafford. Rookie season Matt Stafford to me.
Yeah, he wasn't chasing no waterfalls, and he definitely wasn't no scrub.
Perry checking it. He said NBA Cup KO round edition of Nothing But Net tomorrow at night at 7:30. Make sure you tune in for that. And Boone checking in. What's happening, Boone? Long time no see. Glad to have you here.
Bone's trying to take out Bumpy Johnson in the next episode of the Sideline Junkies podcast network. So if he types in "I'm the King of New York," you just understand that Boone has won.
Oh no! Before we get out of here, we can't leave yet. We got to hit this hot stove. You want to hit that hot stove before we go?
We'll go real quick. So today in MLB, if you're not initiated, as KG always says, Kyle Schwarber signed the deal with the Phillies. I think it was 5 years, 150.
Yes.
And if I'm wrong, I apologize. So
That's it.
That's hit one. Hit two is Edwin Diaz signs with the Dodgers, 3 years, $69 million. Those are two of the bigger moves, and then there's a subtle move made by the Nats over the weekend, trading Jose Ferreira for a young catcher. I think his name was, I forget the kid's name. I just want to just get through this real quick, and they got another pitcher out of it. But the catcher is a contact guy. Because I think at the end of this summer, personally, as a Nats fan, I have 3 wishes. I want us to get rid of Abrams. I want us to get rid of Gore. And I want us to get rid of Ruiz. But I think Ruiz will have to retire because of his head injuries. The reason I want to get rid of Abrams, he's not a plus shortstop. I'd rather take my struggles with Nasim Nunez at short and get me a better second baseman. Because I believe in defense up the middle. I was born in a house where up the middle defense is more important than everything else. Damn, Keith, we got the same barber. So
Condoms.
Yeah, Lou Whitaker and Alan Trammell up the middle. There you go.
Yeah.
Up
Middle,
the
man.
middle. Jack Carr and Keith Hodges up the middle.
Facts.
I truly believe in up the middle defense. And I think Nasim Nunez gives you a better up the middle option than CJ Abrams. And I think Abrams gives you better return on the other side of it.
Okay.
And the other person that got to go is Luis Garcia. So trust me, we ain't keeping too many people around. Go ahead.
You know, the Dodgers have spent more in free agency than 15 teams combined since 1990?
Yes.
35 years. 35 years. They've spent more than 15 teams have in 35 years. That's ridiculous.
The impetus of this rant was because Edwin Diaz signs for 3 years, $69 million. And it's like, what's the point? Like, if the Dodgers just re-up, they can get every reliever that's available that's not named Devon Williams. They can get every starting pitcher involved. I mean, what are we doing here? We're just waiting for them to be anointed the World Series champs. Go ahead, Keith. I mean,
I don't have much. I mean, I think my man Cedric Mullins signed with the Rays earlier in the week. but that's really the only thing that really came across my on my radar. What you got, Jack?
Okay. Well, with Schwarber over in Philly, I was getting hot because, yes, I am a Baltimore Orioles fan, but my National League team is the Cincinnati Reds, and that's where Schwarber's from. Schwarber's from Cincinnati area. So he was talking 2 years ago, I think I'm going to run this contract going home. Well, since he couldn't offer that kind of coin, so Schwarber's going to stay at Philly. And I thought that was something. I was hoping he would come to Cincy because Cincy's real close to turning that corner and becoming a good playoff team. And that's what I got on this baseball thing. That's all I had.
Well, only thing I got is it's cool when they do it, but it's a problem when I do it. That's all I want to say.
This is a Yankee Dodgers thing.
Yeah.
That's all I want to say.
Let's take it home, man.
All right. Perry said the rich get richer in LA. Boone said how you ND fans holding up.
What's up, Boone?
We good.
Leave that alone. I'm boycotting. And the Dodgers ROI is unmatched.
Return on investment. Yes, indeed.
And J Dub said, I think it's insane how these teams throw money around anymore. The payroll these days have become insane. I think it's okay because it's been done for so long. I think it's okay.
Well, you would because you're a Yankees fan.
We've gotten to the
right,
point
because y'all do it.
Well, we don't do it anymore. Ever since the head Steinbrenner died, we don't throw money. We used to be tops and everybody wanted to be a Yankee. We can't even put that type of team together no more because everybody can match the bread now. But
no, everybody can.
Not everybody.
Only the Dodgers can. But we'll save that argument for another day and another dollar.
Because I know one team that need to throw some money around that won't do it, and that's a team that plays in the nation's capital. But
before we get out of here, we got tomorrow on the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network. We got Nothing But Net, 7:30. We're giving you tonight's ball games. We're gonna give you some topics from what's going on, and then after that, at 9 p.m., we got me and the gentleman Jack. I'm off of
hiatus.
Probation.
Restriction.
Yeah, he likes me this week. Nah, I'm joking. No, it's
special time, everybody. It's a special time, 9 p.m.
9 p.m. We got Coach Snead because he's coaching the SMAC team versus the PG County team this weekend in their playoff in their game. I think
high school.
Then of course we got Thursday. We got the Thursday night throwdown. I'm ready to ask a personal question.
Uh-oh.
So I'm gonna ask it anyway because normally I don't do this, but there's a thing in the inner workings of the Sideline Junkies, and there should be a show covers NASCAR, covers some other things that everybody doesn't cover.
Wow.
What we thinking? And you ain't gotta give me a date. You ain't gotta give me a time.
Thinking that through, working on that, but yeah, I mean, we're looking at doing something that kind of lives on the fringe, if you will, a little bit.
Like it.
Some of the sports world that's on the peripheral, NASCAR, golf, boxing, and a little MMA, horse racing, especially the Triple Crown stuff. World Cup's coming. So yeah, I mean it's something that's working on when that might drop, but hopefully sometime after the first of the year we'll be ready to share more about maybe adding a program to the network potentially. So
no, that's even better because it opens up once we get past a certain point, because certain shows fall off, and we can add other things in, and
well, I think it's a good time. NASCAR, the Daytona 500, the second week of February. The majors get rolling in April, so it might be a good time to to start bringing some of those sort of sporting events to light, and hopefully some of the Sideline Junkies Podcast Network will follow us along on that journey. So more to come here in the future.
So all I want to say to you is, we ready. You know how much and I'm gonna say this from a personal standpoint. You know how much I appreciate you. So when we get this thing going and we figure it out,
Yeah, it's mutual. Yeah. Yep.
For sure.
It's in my mind every day. So we're just, I'm gonna talk to the boss man as we get through the holidays here, and we're gonna figure it out.
All right, cool. KG, back to you.
Well, we got to get out of here because we're approaching that time. On top of nothing but net in the passenger seat, Thursday night throwdown, the gridiron 11:30 Saturday morning, and then Saturday night. It's a special night. We will be looking at John Cena's final match and looking back at his career, because that takes place Saturday night's main event in Washington, D.C. So make sure you tune in for that. Don is going to probably put Cena over because he's been a Cena guy his whole life. So, Cena's his childhood hero. So he'll put Cena over on Saturday night. So for the correspondent, the gentleman Jack, the Midnight Rider, I'm the big guy KG. We don't do no overtime, y'all. Well, shit, we did it tonight, and we had fun doing it. But we are out of here.